With the Halo Infinite gameplay reveal around the corner, it's no secret that the hype is at an all-time high, but with the game itself also around the corner, for longtime fans, nervousness is equally as high. However, that's not the topic of this video. I'd rather focus on getting this hype train to its destination instead of launching a campaign to derail it before it reaches the station. Hopefully, by the time I'm done in this video, you'll be just as hyped as I am, and you too will have some renewed faith in the Halo franchise.
Please don't die. Please don't die.
Unless you're Matt Murdock, you've undoubtedly read the title. This video will explore the music that, in my opinion, made Halo what it was. There's a frequently overlooked aspect of video game music that took what was already a great soundtrack in Combat Evolved, strapped it to a rocket, ignited the fuel, and propelled that bitch so high into the atmosphere that it broke orbit and landed in a league of its own.
Oh shit!
Am I right, Marines?
Sir, yes, sir!
Damn right I am.
The important aspect is how the music is utilized. What's the point in having epic music when you don't use it when you should have, or inversely used it at the wrong time?
Right.
Do it. Me and you. Now. No! Perfect.
Alright, that was a bit of an exaggerated example, but you get the point. Using the right music at the right time is really, really important. Anyone that has ever stepped foot on a Halo ring, held an assault rifle or a battle rifle in their virtual hands has experienced the epic sounds of the Halo universe. I would go as far as to say that even those who have never played Halo has experienced its music at some capacity at some point.
Ship isn't taking part in the attack. He must have gone to ground.
Roger that, ma'am. We're on him. Kick the door.
This cutscene and this music isn't particularly amazing or anything, but I think it just did a really good job at evoking emotion of wonder and excitement that was to come later on in this mission. Just a little side note. Music in video games doesn't necessarily have to stand on its own. Rather, it's at its peak effectiveness when it is adding to what is already being experienced by the player. Your experience encompasses what you're seeing, what you're feeling, and unironically, what other game sounds you're hearing aside from the music. Composers seem to be the masters of background ambient music. The music is at a level where you can hear it, but low enough so that it's easily drowned out by either your own concentrated thoughts or the in-game sound effects. Which is fine, but in order to have a noteworthy soundtrack, you have to make it stand out. You have to be confident enough in your music to know that it will add to the overall experience of the moment and not take away from it. In short, a good soundtrack elevates the game itself, and that is something that Marty O'Donnell seems to have down to a T. Put the music on center stage and let it drive the scene to where you're supposed to go and what you're supposed to feel. This is probably the most badass cutscene in the entire game, and it's 100% because of the music, not because of what's going on in the cutscene. As you can see, it's pretty basic. Just keep watching.
A small section, yes. Good enough. Johnson, drop the chief at the first generator, then head to the third. The elites will punch right down the middle.
Roger that.
Charlie, Foxtrot. Tower 1 approaches, active AAA. Mayday! Attack control! Pelican down! Pelican down!
Brace yourselves, we're going in a little hot!
When the dialogue sound effects, visuals, and everything else come together as a single unit, that's when you have an absolute powerhouse of a scene or sequence.
You found me. But so much of me is wrong. Out of place. You might be too late.
You know me. When I make a promise.
You keep it. I do know how to pick 'em.
Lucky me. Do you still have it?
The activation index from the first Halo ring. A little souvenir I hung on to, just in case. Got an escape plan?
Thought I'd try shooting my way out. Mix things up a little.
Just keep your head down. There's 2 of us in here now, remember?
I'm probably gonna end up making a separate video for Halo 3 and ODST. So perfect. For now, let's just move on before I spend an hour on this one scene alone. Take this scene of Carter's sacrifice in Halo Reach. This moment could have gone very differently depending on the music. With a simple switch to somber and sad music, the mood of this scene would have changed drastically. You're not meant to be sad for him, you're not meant to shed a single tear. You're meant to be called to action and to be even more motivated to finish this mission.
Noble Leader, seek immediate medical attention. Noble Leader, please respond. Please respond, Sierra 259. You are alarming me.
Not sure how long she's gonna stay together. Skies are jammed up anyway. Gotta get you off her, Lieutenant.
Sir,
You don't want to hear it. Get the package to the Autumn.
done.
Not yet, it's not. Emil, go with him. It's a ground game now.
It's been an honor, sir.
Likewise. I'll do what I can to draw their fire. 6. That AI chose you. She made the right choice. On my mark. Mark!
Where does he get off calling a demolition a priority 1?
I think that this is the only death in the game that they really wanted you to feel sad about. Every other death was kind of not really brushed off, but it wasn't made as dramatic. And this was honestly the most shocking death, and I can see why they chose it to be what it was. The music is great, and yeah, just a great scene. That's what makes the music in video games so damn important. It's just about the only thing that you can tweak in the smallest amounts and make the biggest impact all at once. Aside from cutscenes, good music can hijack your gameplay for a brief moment just to blow your mind and proceed to send you on your way. I mean, just look at this.
Up high! Here she comes! Is the dawn rated for atmosphere? I guess we're gonna find out. Hey, take cover!
Thanks, Chief. Wouldn't have lasted much longer up there. Come to the back of the frigate. Johnson, have the elites found anything?
Structure on the other side of the wall, man. But it's surrounded by brute heavy.
Look at that! Are you kidding me? The build-up in dialogue between the Marines to when you finally see the Forward Onto Dawn coming in at Mach speed, then it finally arrives, blows away all the debris, and then you cue the widescreen border and title, masterful, pure perfection. This comes at the end of a very long and exhausting mission too, but after hearing and seeing what you just experienced, and then they drop you a tank, suddenly you're ready to keep on going with your sense of time right out the window. Speaking of perfect music and border transitions,
just so you know, there are quite a few elites guarding the bomb. You may need to get creative.
Mwah! Beautiful. The attention to detail is honestly mind-boggling at times, even down to something as simple as opening the game itself. You are immediately strapped in and hyped, prepared for the journey ahead in the game. A very nice and most certainly overlooked touch. You are serenaded with a musical treat and a shot of adrenaline just for booting up the game. Like, who does that? Outstanding. At this point, you may be thinking to yourself, hey Pocket, what does this have to do with Halo Infinite? I hear you, and I'm getting to it. The point of this video is coming shortly. We all know that there's different composers for the newest Halo titles, 2 different ones to be exact, so some of the magic seemed to have died with Bungie. The music in Halo 4 and 5 wasn't bad. The main topic of this video is why I think it fell flat. The music wasn't applied correctly. There were a couple of bangers in Halo 4. Halo 5 came close, but couldn't quite reach the bar to pull itself up. But to be fair, that game had 2 massive bangers in it, The Light is Green and The Trials. I would say that The Light is Green is in my top 5 favorite Halo pieces of all time. Man, say what you want about Halo 5 Guardians, the story was trash, I know, the marketing was trash, I know, but this opening scene was killer. Not because of the story leading up to it or the visuals for that matter, but because the music was just overall badass. And if nothing else gets complimented by me in Halo 5 Guardians, this will always get a compliment from me and almost anyone else.
Behold, my stuff.
Here comes the Halo Infinite trailer and the tip of this spear called a video. Again, I know what you're thinking. The obvious response, you only have faith in Halo Infinite's music because they brought back the old music. Well, yes and no. Shh. Let me explain. Bringing back the old Halo music and the old art style means that 343 has realized what makes Halo, well, Halo. But that's not why. It's because of this man right here, Curtis Schewitzer. Apologies if I butchered your name, my good man. You may not know him, so allow me to get you acquainted. You may not have heard of him or the game Starbound, but let me tell you, Starbound's soundtrack is amazing. You can hear it for yourself. But no, that's not where my excitement comes from. It comes from the fact that Starbound's soundtrack is 6 hours long. 6 hours. That is downright impressive for an indie style game, and that is the major reason we should all be excited for Halo Infinite. And that is the level of detail that we need in a Halo soundtrack. That is how you solve the problem of Marty O'Donnell. You have to take what he did with his level of detail and involvement with the game to compose a soundtrack and use it to make it sound like Halo. That level of detail is what we desperately need in a Halo game, not only for the music, but as far as the story and the gameplay goes. I believe in him, and judging from what he's done with the 2 trailers we've seen so far, you should believe in him too.
I chose you because you were special. I knew we would be perfect together. And I was right.
Alright, now that the main video is done, I wanted to take a few extra minutes to marvel at Halo's music for just a little bit longer. Halo's music means a lot to me. It's the reason why I picked up my first piano and became a musician. I could definitely make a completely separate video for both Halo 3 ODST and Halo 3, but I'm not sure if that's something anyone cares about. I'm not even sure this video is something anyone would care about in the first place. But the way I see it, I'd rather have my thoughts and feelings out on the internet for at least one other person to possibly enjoy than to just keep it all to myself. If you made it this far into the video, thank you. Let's keep going for just a bit longer. The song that's playing right now is criminally underrated. I think of it as one of the best songs that has never made it into a game. If my memory serves me correctly, it only appeared in the menus of Halo 2. What a real shame. Or is it? The song is fairly popular, especially for a song that never actually made it into gameplay. It's a real testament to Marty's music making capabilities. That means enough people in the menus just sat there and listened to the song, or enough people were interested enough to listen to the entire soundtrack and happened to really appreciate the song. Either way, it's impressive. The thing I'm most impressed with is how the spin-off games like Reach and ODST managed to have a completely different soundtrack from the main trilogy, but somehow still maintained its identity as Halo. They're so different, yet so familiar. Halo Reach sounds more like a military cadence, but somehow manages to come full circle and sound like the Halo we all know and love. ODST, on the other hand, sounds a lot more emotionally mellow with the jazz theme and with the addition of the saxophone. Even with all the sax, he still manages to weave the iconic Halo train-like rhythm into it. All in all, Marty made a hell of a soundtrack, but no one needs me to tell them that. One day, I'll make a video and dissect them all in greater detail, and hopefully by that time, Halo Infinite will shock the world and become the topic of a positive video for me and everyone else. If you made it this far, again, thank you. I have at least 7 videos that aren't Halo related in the pipeline. Subscribe for more video essays, and if you like the video, then like the damn video, and I'll see you in the next one.